So, I've made a couple of videos now where I have mentioned human rights. I have also made a couple of videos, basically giving the kind of details of the life that I used to live when I was a Jehovah's Witness. I'm now ex-Jehovah's Witness. And one of the reasons for that involves human rights. It's not that I'm taking things to the extreme or that I'm over exaggerating or I'm trying my damnedest uh to find fault and nitpick, cherry pick um because I'm mad that I was forced to go somewhere I didn't want to go when I was a kid. Um am I upset about that? Absolutely. This delves into a bigger picture that does not just include me. When I say the word cult, when I talk about Jehovah's Witnesses, it isn't that I think that uh, cults are necessarily a bad thing to be in. Um, you know, uh, different strokes for different folks. Um, and I just happen to be in a very strict, invasive, and authoritarian religion when I was a child. It's just what I was born into. You know, you come out wherever you come out. Uh, you don't really get too much of a say in that. Um, does that mean that I think that my parents or my family that were are Jehovah's Witnesses are bad? No, that's I don't think that. Um, do I think that a lot of abuse goes on in Jehovah's Witnesses? Yes, I do. Do I think that a lot of abuse is covered up in Jehovah's Witnesses? Absolutely, I do. Um, was I abused as a child? I was abused as a child and a teenager. Um, and that's kind of why I want to talk about how human rights ties into Jehovah's Witnesses. Um, because you don't it's just like so for one, you are taught, even though Jehovah's Witnesses are part of the United Nations, um, they talk about in their literature that the United Nations is um what is it, like the harlot of Babylon or something like that, or it's what the harlot of Babylon rides upon is the United Nations. So it's very much demonized from a Jehovah's Witness standpoint. Um, and when it's demonized in that way, it is also you're also taught to look at how the society says you should live as a human rather than what the nations say a human should do or what a human should be able to do. In the past 10 years or so, um, it seems like, okay, so in the past 10 years, it seems like that they are being forced to lift their hand, their iron fist that they love to uh, wield, and they are being forced to do this because of human rights and because of the amount of pedophilia that is in the Jehovah's Witnesses. And that goes along with child abuse. because if you are born one of Jehovah's Witnesses, the sad truth is they try their damnedest to get you to believe that the only religion that you should be in is the Jehovah's Witness. And I know, like, to a degree, all religions have their way of convincing people why this is a way to be, but it's not so much be yourself, it's more so you must be this way or you will die. This is how I was taught. I grew up in the 90s. So when I say I grew up in the 90s, um, 1999, I was 7 years old. Uh, so I grew up and I have memories of the late 90s, and, you know, of the 2000s and so forth. Um, and there was a really strict code, uh, and they would actually like harass you in front of other people if they found that your dress wasn't what they thought it should be or your speech wasn't what they thought it should be. It is very much a huge social culture that they manipulate and that they can turn the people that they teach you to call brothers and sisters on you. I kind of call it a dog pack tactic because in a dog pack at times there is the one dog that ends up being humiliated by the alpha. Um, Dogs do that for a different reason, but then humans do it. Um, but the same feeling is what I get whenever I have a memory of that happening to me or to someone else. It's just like you are the one who we have decided to make an example of, and we do not care how you feel about it. Um, and that was another huge thing that I did not like because it's like a person cannot have emotions. A person cannot have free thought to freely express themselves. As soon as you wander or go into free thought, uh, they try to instantly convince you that you're in some kind of danger and you are in Satan's grasp. Um, and you are on the road to be marked for death when Armageddon comes. That's what I grew up with as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So the reason I bring human rights in this, and this is another reason, is when you leave, when you finally find that you can be yourself in this world, and you can go and search and study for the things that you truly love to study and search for, this is when their iron fist comes in to take everything that you had as a memory as a child and say, no, you can't have this because you left our organization. And I don't care what Jehovah's Witnesses want to call it. I don't care how many times Watchtower goes and rewrites the words or has one of their linguist experts twist the meaning of some other word to try and fill the gap where they can no longer say that a person is disfellowshipped, um, because that is the action in which they take uh, what you had, your family, away from you. And they do this with fear, with manipulation, and with control. This is something that I believe deep down in my core is against human rights. Because when you try to put some block from someone talking to their family, that's like whenever animals leave one of their herd behind. I don't care what type of animal it is, but whenever they leave one of their own behind and it's just off by itself, what's going to happen? It's going to die. So you've already lost your friend structure that you had because you were told to only talk to Jehovah's Witnesses and no one else, and you were monitored, you were stalked um online and IRL to make sure that you have adhered to that code. So when you do see what you can have in this, I don't care. Yes, this world is corrupted. There are evil things that go on, but there's still beauty in the world. And it's still something that is worth fighting for. There's still beauty in research and getting to know, for me at least, different deities, for learning about different things on this earth, in this dimension, maybe a deity from another dimension that brings beauty and life and joy to a person's day. So I'm just going to read down this page, and then I have another page that I'm going to read down. But what are human rights? Human rights are inherent to all of us, regardless of nationality, sex, uh, nation, or ethical origin. Sorry, national or ethical origin, color, religion, language, or any other status. Human rights are rights we have simply because we exist as human beings. They are not granted by any state. The universal right are inherent to all of us, regardless of nationality, sex, national or ethnic origin, color, religion, language, or any other status. They range from the most fundamental, the right to life, to those that make life worth living, such as the rights to food, education, work, health, and liberty. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, adopted by the UN, United Nations General Assembly in 1948, was the first legal document to set out the fundamental human rights to be universally protected. The UDHR, which turns 75 on 10 December 2023, continues to be the foundation of all international human rights law. Its 30 articles provide the principles and building blocks of current and future human rights conventions, treaties, and other legal instruments. The UDHR, together with the two con um, convenience, the International Convenient for Civil and Political Rights and the International Convenient for Economic, Social, and Critical Rights, make up the Bill of Rights, the International Bill of Rights. Um, universal, un, universal and inalienable. The principle of, sorry, I'm stuttering way too much. The principle of universality of humans' rights is the cornerstone of international human rights law. This means that we are all equal entitled to our rights. The principle, as first emphasized in the UDHR, is repeated in many international human rights conventions, um, declarations, and resolutions. Human rights are inalienable. They should not be taken away except in specific situations and according to due process. For example, the right to liberty may be restricted if a person is found guilty of a crime by a court of law. Completely agreeable. Um, Before I go down anymore, I do want to go back up to where it says uh, when it was founded. So, 1948 wasn't so long ago, like 80 years almost, 82 years. Um, Wait, sorry, no. Not 82 years. It'll be 77 years. Okay. Um, I have had numerous conversations with what were supposed to be my spiritual leaders at the time, uh, the quote unquote shepherds of the congregation, say that what you have is ancient because you were born into Jehovah's organization, and what this world is trying to give you is just a few decades old, meaning your human rights. This is the type of manipulation that I am absolutely against because it is as if they treat a person like they are not a person and like they are someone that they can herd around like cattle. Um, it's very disgusting, it's very deceptive, it's very manipulative, especially if you are someone that was born into these places. Um, because that's all you know growing up. That's all you know is really what you get from your Watchtower or Awake and what they tell you up on the platform. Sorry, and your midweek meeting in whatever videos they have you watch. But all of it is just a huge like circle jerk. It just is. And it's just there just to keep people confused. It's something that is when the fear comes in because you hear as a child that you are being uh someone is trying to take you captive and take you out of Jehovah's love, and you will have no hope for the future, and you're a child hearing this. It's damaging. It's damaging. It's propped up to be love, but it turns out just to be the opposite. Um, uh, Indivisible and interdependent. All human rights are individual, and interdependent. This means that one set of rights cannot be enjoyed fully without the other. For example, making progress in civil and political rights makes it easier to exercise economic, social, and cultural rights. Similarly, violating economic, social, and cultural rights can negatively affect many other rights. So, your right to go to school and talk and engage with your classmates in school and out of school, that was something that was very affected. That was something that was taken away from me as a child. Um, and it hurts not only me, but it hurts other, other people that had to live this way for whatever reason, and you could not get the full experience of school because you had some guy that claimed to be your spiritual leader telling you that it was bad. That comes from Satan. You can't have that. And yes, I'm talking about regular public elementary, middle, and high school. This is what it takes from a person. It takes a person's core memories and they want to manipulate that as much as possible. So you're already being judged. You already are being judged um in a way when you're just a little kid. It's like you're already it's like someone expects you to already know everything when you're a little kid. No one does that. No one. I mean, yeah, sure. There's smart people out there, very smart people, but no one comes out knowing everything. And that's why school is so important because in school and out of school, when you're a kid, that's where you get the most of being able to grow emotionally and being able to have and know those social cues and have other people pick up on your social cues when you need something. And it's like when that part is taken away from you, you just don't fucking know. You just don't fucking know. It's just like you just come out and someone just shoots you in the foot and well, good luck, buddy. Equal and non-discriminatory. Article 1 of the UDHR states all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. Freedom from discrimination set out in Article 2. What it is what ensures this uh, equality. Actually, let me zoom in some. There we go. Non-discriminations uh, cut across all international human rights law. The principle is preset in all major human rights treaties. It also provides a central theme of two core instruments, the International Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination and the Convention on the Elimination of all forms of discrimination against women. What being a woman in Jehovah's Witnesses is like, I will never know, but I do feel like it has to suck. I really do. Both rights and obligations. All states have ratified at least one of the nine core human rights treaties, as well as one of the nine optional protocols. 80% of states have ratified four or more. This means that states have obligations and duties under international law to respect, protect, and fulfill human rights. The obligation to respect means that states must refrain from interfering with or curtailing um, the enjoyment of human rights. So if if this is true, the obligation to respect means that states must refrain from interfering or curtailing the enjoyment of human rights. How is it that Watchtower gets away with this? How does Watchtower get away with this? How is it that they are able to do this? And just because you're a religion, that doesn't mean that you get to uh fuck up a kid's education, sexually abuse them, physically abuse them, mentally and emotionally abuse them. That's not what this says. This says that they are supposed to respect them. Where's the respect at? The obligation to protect requires states to protect individuals and groups against human rights abuse. There is little I feel like states can do to protect when a religion props itself up as being kind and gentle, and then when they're not looking, it's the opposite way. They are abusive. They are demanding. They are uh curtailing everything that you do as a person, as a human. They are telling you that what you're doing in school is bad because it takes part in Satan's world. They are telling you that you wanting to play sports, you wanting to study, you wanting to go to after school groups is taking part in Satan's world and it's bad. That's how I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. So, how come when kids need it, it's not there? When individuals need it, it's not there. Because they put up a smiling, kind, gentle picture to the states, but behind closed doors, it's the opposite. The full obligation to fulfill means that states must take positive action to facilitate the enjoyment of basic human rights. Now, I still believe that the states would do, I feel like that my human rights as an individual now are respected, protected, and fulfilled to a point. But I'm still having issues communicating with my family because of the rules that are set and because they are in fear. They they are in fear. And it's hard to protect something when people are taught not to take it because it's bad. Meanwhile, as individuals, while we are entitled to our human rights, but we should also respect and stand up for the human rights of others. Absolutely. There's nothing better than being able to protect something that you appreciate and enjoy constantly for someone else that you also uh love, or for just other people that have just had a hard time. They just have had a hard time in life for whatever reason, for wherever they they are born. I mean, I'm only talking about one religious group. There are many more like it in the world. Let's see. I want to go over the 30 articles also. Okay, here we go. This is it. Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Preamble. Whereas recognition of the inherent dignity and the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world, whereas disregard and contempt of human rights have resulted in barbarous acts which have outraged the conscience of mankind. and the advert of a world in which human beings shall enjoy freedom of speech and belief and freedom from fear and what has been proclaimed as the highest aspiration of the common people. Whereas it is essential, if man is not to be compelled to have recourse as the last resort, the rebellion against tyranny and oppression, the human rights should be protected by the rule of law, whereas it is essential to uh promote the development of friendly relations between nations, whereas the peoples of the United Nations have in the Charter reaffirmed their faith in fundamental human rights and dignity and worth the human person and in the equal rights of men and women and have determined to promote social progress and better standards of life and larger freedom. Whereas member states have pledged themselves to achieve and cooperations with the United Nations and promotions of universal respect and observance of human rights and fundamental freedoms, whereas the common understanding of these rights and freedoms is the greatest importance of all realization of this pledge. Therefore, the General Assembly proclaims this Declaration of Human Rights as a common standard of achievement of all peoples and all nations to the end of every individual and every organ of society, keeping this declaration constantly in mind, shall strive shall strive by teaching and education to promote respects of these rights and freedoms and by progressive measures, national and international, to secure their universal and effective recognition and observance both among the peoples of member states themselves and among the peoples of territories under their jurisdiction. When I was a child, I was brainwashed very heavily, and anything that these people said was criticized, and they were looked at and watched, and it is taught that people are to fear the United Nations, even though Watchtower is a part of them, um, because they're they're against what Watchtower wants. Um, And that's a really big problem. That is a huge problem. These rights are not just for people in America or I mean, these rights are for everyone in the whole world, so long as they have, not committed a crime to alter them. This is something that is fought very hard for, um, fought extremely hard for, especially like right after World War II. I mean, World War II was a hell of a fucking war. So much blood has been shed over people being horrible. This is what these rights also fight against. And it's such a sad thing that you cannot see what is freely given to you when you're born on the earth because you're taught, no, it's bad, it's evil, it's the work of Satan, the devil. Um, it's so sad. It's so sad to grow up like that. Article 1. All human beings are free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act toward one another in spirit of brotherhood. So, I mean, Article 1 is it just seems so simple. Why is that to be taken in as a bad thing? Oh, that's right. Because people outside of Jehovah's organization are not your brothers. They're children of Satan. Article 2. Everyone is entitled to all rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. Furthermore, no distinction shall be made in the basis of the political, jurisdictional, or international status of the country or territory to which the person belongs, whether it be independent, trust, non-self-governing, or under any other limitation of sovereignty. So everyone is entitled to rights and freedoms without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion. Why are people made to believe that they are born as one of Jehovah's Witnesses and they leave, that they are messing up their entire lives? They are walking into Satan's world. They are dining at Satan's table. I mean, hey, I'm a pagan. I do not mind the horns one bit. But that's the language that I was taught to adhere to as a child. Any type of outside thought, any type of wanting to learn more about the world, especially the spiritual world, anything outside of what they teach, well, you're eating at at the table of demons then. And it hurts so much to hear that, because if you're somebody that really loves life and you really love the people in your life, it makes it so hard to actually want to do anything in life, because you're told that you're eating at the table of demons, and this means that there's nothing good that comes from that. Demons cause, or when I was a child, I was taught that demons cause wars, famines, plagues, sickness, death, destruction, uh, the the deterioration of good things. So anything outside of that of Jehovah's Witnesses is bad according to them. But here it says that you have rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. So, how can Watchtower get away with manipulating this many people and ruining so many lives? The depression, the suicide, the want just to give up in life because you think that no matter what you do, it's bad. Article 3. Everyone has a right to life, liberty, and security of person. Very good. Article 4. No one shall be held in slavery or servitude. Slavery and the slave trade shall be prohibited in all their forms. I cannot tell you how many times I have slaved for Watchtower, and was told that I am a slave and that I should be happy with a slave's portion. And even though that's looked at, you know, that's kind of how men are supposed to look to God in Christianity, it doesn't help when other men are telling you this and making you feel this way. And they flaunt it around and they say that they can because God put them in that position. People have died for slaving from Watchtower's demands or from the cause of Watchtower's demands that they put on their family, such as disfellowshipping. And they tell the family, you can't talk to that person anymore. They're spiritually dead. They are made to look that they are slaves to Watchtower, and they're taught to be happy from that. You should be happy that you are performing acts of servitude, which in a religion, yes, I do think that people should be happy for serving whatever God or gods they believe in. But when you put other men there to tell the other people that you are a slave and you should be happy with your slave serving, and if you don't meet the other demands, then you are a bad person. If you are trying to enjoy yourself, you're part of Satan's world. You're not slaving for the right things. It's disgusting what Watchtower does to language. We saw that in court from Norway, how they tried to twist the words to get out of admitting the abuse that they carry out and that they make people go through. I need a drink. I'll be right back. And the reason why I say that Watchtower has a form of slavery over their members is because when people leave Watchtower, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to live. They don't know which way they should go because their minds have been enslaved by Watchtower. And a mental cage is still a cage. And it's a horrible kind of cage. And you are just taught that if you try to free yourself from this, well, you're taken from Satan's world. You're looked at as a bad person for doing so. And when I say looked at, I mean that they spread rumors around the whole congregations, around other congregations that you have visited, because they want you to feel so bad the effect of their power and the effect that what you have read, what they've been shoving down your face the whole entire time that you've been in there is true. And that there's no force that can stop them. That is a lie. Because people have enough power from themselves to find their way out. And they even make that hard. So now, not only is it hard to come out of the mindset, figure yourself out, figure out what type of religion vibes with you in the best way. And yes, I said vibes. But when you are going to the path that you have chosen, they put all these little things there to try and remind you that you need to come back because you stepped away from God. If I don't want your literature in my hand, what makes you think I want your reminders? I don't want to walk on your space. I don't want to be in your buildings. I don't want to see your literature. I don't want to see your name. But then people who have left have to come back, give their stories. They have to come back mentally to where they were when they were in Watchtower and whatever the hell Watchtower had them doing. They had to, we have to try and articulate a story that other people can hopefully hear and learn from and let them know that they are not alone in their struggle of trying to be free from the slave mind that Watchtower has tried to put on them. That it is okay to venture out and it is okay to explore whatever kind of religion or knowledge that you think fits you best. Because when people come out of there, they don't know that. It is damaging for people. Watchtower tries to make it as damaging as they can mentally and physically and spiritually when you leave Watchtower. It is not a place that you can just get up and never go back to because you have just so many memories there left behind. And on top of that, you have to deal with the um with the self-judgment that you've been taught to judge yourself with unknowingly throughout the years that you've been there. And you have to find another circle to be in because people won't talk to you anymore. Watchtower does not want free people. Watchtower does not want happy people. Watchtower wants slaves that do everything that they say and that they can say, look at us, United Nations, there's nobody like us. But those people are not happy. Some of them may be happy. It's not for everyone. But coming out of it is fucking hell. It is fucking hell. And it doesn't need to be that way. I have asked so many other Christians, do you guys do this? Do you guys shun? Do you guys uh make sure the person feels all the judgment of God? Do you guys, take away their family and their friends? These people look at me like I'm fucking crazy because they've never heard of that before. Oh, I thought you guys were Christians. Yeah, we're Christians. We go to church. We go to cookouts. We hang out. We got clubs for our young people. Yeah. Oh, really? But you guys don't shun? No! I was astounded. I was blown away when I heard that. What? This is how people want God's punishment to be. You're not a God. How do you get to punish and enslave these people this way? Article 5. And I know as I go through these, I'm not bringing up anything from Watchtower. Just go to their site. I'm not going there because I'm not having on their videos so they can copy strike me. I don't care. I'm not doing it. Go to their site, type in the word disfellowshipping, and see what you read. No one shall be subjected to torture or cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment. Article 5, have you met Jehovah's Witnesses? Have you met Watchtower Bible Tract Society? Have you met jw.org? Have you met the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses? Because I'm fucking telling you right now, Cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment is their fucking specialty. And they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about human rights because they believe that if someone's being punished by God, then they don't have any fucking human rights. It is baffling to me that a place that spouts out the word love so much, but it's really just vomit. It's the word love wrapped in a ball of acid that degrades you over time because anything outside of what Watchtower says okay should be uh punished because Jehovah doesn't like that. You're taught to not talk to people. I know that they changed that rule recently, and they're going to try and make all of their fucking linguists come together. They're going to have a linguist orgy, and they're going to try and figure out how to linguist their way around Article 5. But when I'm telling you that I have seen and I have suffered as well, me as a person personally have suffered the inhumane treatment that Watchtower teaches its people to do, and they teach it in a way where if they do it, it's like you get extra spiritual points for how cruel, inhumane, and degrading you could make someone that is no longer part of Watchtower feel. That you will not even speak to that person because they are spiritually dead and because you're better than them because you're still in Jehovah's organization. How can Watchtower do this? And I don't want to hear, well, it's only at the meetings. It's not only at the meetings. I haven't talked to my cousin in over 4 years now, actually. In over 4 years. I used to have a family meeting with my family every week over Zoom. They kicked me out of it. Why? Because I didn't want to serve Jehovah. Because I didn't want to be a Christian. We can't talk to you. We won't be able to help you if anything happens. If you have to go to the hospital, you're just going to have to call the ambulance. We can't have anything to do with you. This has came from my parents. This has come from my uncles, my aunts, my cousins. This is inhumane treatment. This is degrading. I am a human being. I am a person. You do not get to treat me like I do not exist, because I do. Treating a person as if they do not exist because they don't want to be in your religion is the fucking epitome of bigotry. You teach your people to be bigoted towards others, cruel towards others. Hey, that person's having problems? Well, normally we would go and help them, but they don't want to be Jehovah's Witness anymore, so they can just go to hell. Fuck them. People have committed suicide over this. Is suicide cruel? Is forcing a person to commit suicide cruel? Inhumane? It sounds pretty fucking inhumane to me. Degrading treatment? You feel depressed every day because you're not looked at as a human being anymore. Why? Because you feel deep in your soul, in your being, that you're better off as being a pagan. Because that's what I feel. That's what I've always felt. But if I wanted to talk to my mom or my dad as a kid and not get fucking kicked out of the house as a child, I had to do what Watchtower said. I couldn't go and explore with the gods and goddesses that I believed in as a child, and I still believe in those today. I could not go explore the world. If I did, it had to be in the utmost secret. Nobody can know about it. And then even then, someone would still end up knowing about it. And you have to go through that shit. I mean, really. Why is it that I, as a human being, have to suffer with this cult for the rest of my life, or the rest of my relatives' lives, knowing that no matter what, they have been brainwashed into not speaking to me? Because these same people were the same ones that Watchtower used to pressure me into getting baptized. After I have been molested in the Kingdom Hall twice, sexually molested. Is sexual molestation cruel? Is it inhumane? Is it degrading treatment? I fucking think it is. And I'm sure a lot of other kids did too. Everyone has the right to recognition everywhere as a person before the law. Absolutely. Unless your law comes from Watchtower, then you're not a person. Article 7. All are equal before the law and are entitled without discrimination to equal protection of the law. All are entitled to equal protection against any discrimination and violation of this declaration and against any incitement to such discrimination. Well, you're not a Jehovah's Witness anymore. Guess we gotta discriminate against you. What's that? You're thinking about leaving the truth? Oh, we'll just go and tell everyone that so they can start social distancing you. I mean, really, you're taught this whole time that you have to, that these people are your brothers and sisters. These people are the people that you trust. You don't want to have anything outside there in the world, so you're already taught to discriminate. You're already taught from the beginning to discriminate because these people are not Jehovah's Witnesses. Then when you wake up and you say, oh shit, I'm in a fucking cult, I should leave. Then they turn everyone against you. And they do turn people against you. They really do. For the simple fact that you are being honest, that you don't vibe with their religion. It's not if you broke any of their rules or not. It's just that you don't vibe with their religion. You honestly and freely admit that, and you're punished and discriminated against for it. Article 8. When someone who has sinned seriously does not repent and refuses to follow Jehovah's standards, those are not this God standards, those are Watchtower standards, he can no longer be a member of the congregation. He needs to be disfellowshipped. When someone is disfellowshipped, we have no more dealings with that person and we stop talking to him. The disfellowshipping arrangement protects Jehovah's name and the congregation. Disfellowshipping is also discipline that can help someone repent so that he can return to Jehovah. Do you see how they discriminate against that person? Because when you turn and you tell everyone, don't talk to a person, you are fucking discriminating against them. Oh, sorry. Watchtower brushed up on their language recently. Removing and shunning members formerly known as disfellowshipping. There we go. I'm sorry. Jehovah's Witnesses are removed if they are considered to be unrepentant after engaging in serious sin. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, engaging in serious sin means having free thought and looking for where you could really vibe in a religion and where you could really strive in. A removed person is to be shunned by family members and friends. A removed person is to be discriminated against by family and friends. Unless they are reinstated, this punishment is for the remainder of their life, causing tremendous emotional suffering. Oh, that's not suffering though. They're receiving love from Jehovah. That's how they twist it. That's how they say it. That's how they look at it. This emotional suffering is how they see love. What kind of fucked up place sees emotional suffering as love? While spiritual precedence limits association with wrongdoers, Watchtower application seriously deviates from Bible guidelines. Page 27 on the August 2024 Watchtower stated that the word disfellowshipping will no longer be used. Mind you, when I quit, I didn't tell anyone. I just wrote the letter because I wasn't talking to anyone anyway. So I just wrote my letter to Bethel so I could, from a standpoint, separate myself from them because I no longer wanted to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses because I realized the trauma that I had to live through as a child. I realized that I was molested twice sexually, and I realized that I was heavily abused as a child as well. And all these things did not occur to me until later in life because I was molested and abused and brainwashed because that's what Watchtower loves to do to children. So, uh, I believe it was August 2024. Some assholes from the Spanish congregation I used to go to came down to my house and started screaming, "It's real, it's real." Because if they didn't do that, then they couldn't say, well, we're just social distancing from him. We're not shunning him. So they come to your home and yell at your home. That's how bigoted people in Watchtower are. Anyways, page 27 from the August 2024 Watchtower stated that the word disfellowship will no longer be used and instead to instead be referred to as being removed from the congregation. Well, I removed myself from their congregations because of the amount of child abuse and pedophilia and violation on human rights that they do to people. We will no longer refer to such ones as being disfellowshipped in harmony with Paul's word recorded at 1 Corinthians 5:13. We will now refer to them as being removed from the congregation. This is simply a cosmetic change as the reasons to remove an individual remain the same and continue to require shunning that person. A minor change is a disfellowship removed. This is their linguist gymnastics here. This is Watchtower. Every time something has to be done, believe me, if there was an Olympics for linguists, Watchtower would win every fucking year. A minor change is that this fellowship removed person can may be greeted at meetings. At meetings. So you have to go to a place that you don't want to go to for them to talk to you because that's where the elders are, so they can make sure that you're having a spiritually safe conversation. Or, sorry, this person has been removed. You're not having a spiritual conversation with them. Information throughout this article discusses disfellowshipped individuals continues to apply to removed individuals. So there you have it. Um, it just goes back to the same thing. They target a person and then they discriminate against them. And believe me, it doesn't stay inside the church. It goes outside the church. It can go to this person's job and it can get them fired. You don't want to be a Jehovah's Witness? Well, this is God's curse on you. You lose your job and you starve, and no one's going to talk to you. We're going to push you out of your circle. We're going to make you starve. We're going to make sure that you die so you have the chance to be uh, resurrected in the new world. And I've heard that one be used for before too. What's that? He doesn't want to be a Jehovah's Witness? Well, we can just kill him so he can come back in the resurrection. I've been told that before. I've been told that before by these people. Article 8. Everyone has a right to an effective remedy by the competent national tribunals for acts violating the fundamental rights granted him by the Constitution or by law. Article 9. No one shall be subjected to arbitrary arrest, detention, or exile. No one. You know, Watchtower teaches its members to exile the children in the home if they were baptized and then they get disfellowship, the children, the teenagers, the sons and daughters that may be adults. They teach them to exile them. Well, you're going to learn right now. If you don't want to be part of Jehovah, this is how the real world is. No, this is what Watchtower does to abuse children and adults alike, to force their way of life on them. And they're taught that it's supposed to be an act of love. This is what they do. They exile them. They make sure that their abuse goes as far as it can for them. Because then this person will really see, oh, oh, wait a minute. This is Jehovah's love. I should be in a meeting right now. Because the only religion that you're allowed to think about is whatever fucked up thing Watchtower is trying to teach you. Article 10. Everybody's entitled in full equality to a fair and public hearing by independent and impartial tribunal and the determination of his rights and obligations and of any criminal charge against him. Okay. Article 11. Everyone charged with a penal offense has the right to be presumed innocent until proved guilty, according to the law, in a public trial at which he has had all the guarantees necessary for his defense. 2. No one shall be held guilty of any penal offense on account of any act or omission which did not constitute a penal offense under national or international law at that time when it was committed, nor shall a heavier penalty be imposed than the one that was ap applicable at the time the penal offense was committed. Article 12. No one shall be subject to arbitrary interference with his privacy, family, home, or correspondence, nor attacks upon his honor and reputation. Everyone has the right to the protection of the law against such interference or attacks. Well, if you're in Watchtower, they really try to strip that privacy from you. I mean, that's one of the first things. You get married in Watchtower, they want to know how you're giving it to your wife or how a wife is giving it to their husband. They want to be deep in that bedroom. Um at all times. What's that? You're single? Well, you got to watch out for that porn. You got to watch out for that masturbation. They'll be all in there on that too. What's that? You're trying to go on a date? Oh, well, Watchtower makes sure that you have your third wheel with you all the time to make sure that you two just don't have any type of intimacy or privacy whatsoever. What's that? You're going out on your own? Well, you gotta look out for Elder so and so because they're gonna be there. They're gonna be there and they're gonna be checking up on you. What's that? You missed you missed Saturday service or Sunday morning service, or sorry, not service, meeting. Well, the elders are gonna pay you a visit to figure out how come you weren't in that seat or on that Zoom call. There's no privacy in that place. There's zero privacy. And you're just instantly taught to berate your family and make sure that your family doesn't enjoy life because hey, you have to do everything that Watchtower says, and you better make sure that family is up to par because Jesus is watching, and he's not going to give you any type of uh privileges if your family is causing trouble or just enjoying life. I mean, literally just enjoying life. Article 13. 1. Everyone has the right to freedom of movement and residence within the borders of each state. 2. Everyone has the right to leave any country, including his own, and to return to his country. Yes. Article 14. 1. Everyone has the right to seek and to enjoy and to seek and to enjoy in other countries asylum from protection. 2. This right may not be invoked. And 2. This right may not be invoked in the case of persecutions uh, genuinely arising from non-political crimes or acts contrary to the purpose and privileges of the United Nations. I was talking about seeking asylum in other countries. Article 15. 1. Everyone has the right to nationality. 2. No one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his nationality, nor denied the right to change his nationality. Article 16. 1. Men and women of age without any limitation due to race, nationality, or religion have the right to marry and to find a family. And to found a family. They are entitled to equal rights as to marriage, during marriage, and at its its dissolution. 2. Marriage shall be entered into only with the free and full consent of the intending spouses. Yes. 3. The family is the natural and fundamental group unit of society and is entitled to protections by society, and the state. Yes. But if you're in Watchtower, um, sorry, uh, you got to make sure that you only marry in Watchtower. You can't have other people from other religions. Hey, I met this really cool girl and she's really um I don't know. She's really deep into um astronomy. Sorry. You want a Jehovah's Witnesses? No. Can't have those magic practicing people there. Magic is bad. You definitely want to make sure that you never marry anyone that's into magic if you're one of Jehovah's Witnesses. This is the mental things that they've put on people in their religion. They limit who you can marry. Men and women of full age without any limitations due to race, nationality, or religion have the right to marry and found a family. But because you're taught to discriminate in Jehovah's Witnesses, well, you can't do that. I mean, honestly, if you're limited to who you can marry, did that limit you for your whole life? That limits you to what your kids, what your grandkids will be affected by for your whole life. To be in a place as sadistic as Watchtower is. Article 17. Everyone has the right to own property alone as well as in association with others. No one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his property. Article 18. Everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This right includes freedom to change his religion or belief, and freedom either alone or in community with others and in public or private to manifest his religion or belief in teaching, practice, worship, and observance. Watchtower, have you met Article 18? Have you really met Article 18, Watchtower, Watchtower Bible Tract Society, the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses? Have you guys met Article 18 yet? Have you? Because you certainly don't show it. You're really there trying to grip people as tight as you can, squeezing the life out of them if they choose to leave, making them cut off their whole family if they choose to leave, making them feel as if they are the ones that have brought plague and destruction upon everyone else because they don't want to be a Jehovah's Witness, because they wanted to go to another religion, because they feel that their spirituality is better off used in a different way than what Watchtower teaches. I don't think Watchtower has met Article 18 yet. Article 19. Everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media regardless of frontiers. Oh, what's that? You're one of Jehovah's Witnesses? Well, they're gonna watch all your social media. Oh, you found this really inspirational quote that comes from your astrological sign. Well, there's gonna be two elders walking up to you to tell you that you shouldn't be doing that. Those are Satan's practices. You're practicing things of the world. You're being a bad slave. You're a bad person for doing that. The only thing that you need to seek is what Watchtower is given out. Jehovah's Witnesses do not have the freedom of Article 19. Everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. No, you don't. Yeah, you can say it. It's going to end up with you being in a back room in a judicial hearing with three elders because you wanted to express yourself. You're going to be judged by the congregation and by your family. You're going to lose the right to talk to your family because you expressed yourself. People have had to go through that. Hey, Watchtower Bible Tract Society, the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses. Have you met Article 19? I don't think you have. Article 20. 1. Everyone has the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association. Watchtower loves Article 20. Oh, those apostates are outside. We can assemble peacefully because we have apostates here. Watchtower loves Article 20. 2. No one may be compelled to belong to an association. Well, I guess Watchtower only likes the first part of Article 20 because they love to compel and to force. They love to do that. And they love to make people feel as though if they don't belong and they don't do what Watchtower tells them to do, then they shouldn't even belong to society. Article 21. Everyone has the right to take part in the government of his country, directly or through freely chosen representatives. 2. Everyone has the right of equal access to public service in his country. 3. The will of the people shall be the basis of authority of government. This will shall be expressed in periodic and genuine elections, which shall be by universal and equal suffrage, and shall be held by secret vote or by equivalent free voting procedures. All right. Everyone has the right to take part in government of his country. Oh, what's that? You're a Jehovah's Witness? Oh, what's that? The governments of the world are controlled by Satan. And if you try to take part in the government, then well, we're gonna have to disfellowship you and cut you off from the rest of your family. Sorry, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to remove you and have people social distance and shun you. 2. Everyone has the right to equal access of public service in his country. Public service. I'm going to take public service as meaning, you want to do something, so like a community service, right? A community service, okay? You want to do a service for your community, whether it's by court order or you just want to. Well, this church is gonna be need repainting soon. We can go and paint the church. Oh, sorry. I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses. I can't do that. Well, how come? Well, I can only put energy towards the Kingdom Hall. That's it. And if I don't, they'll cut me off from the rest of my family and they'll remove me and social distance and shun me. 3. Voting. Voting. You want to vote? You want to take part in Satan's world and vote? Really? Well, you can't be in here then. Sorry. You have to go out there. You'll be removed from the congregation. Will social distance. Congregation will social distance and shun you. I had to do public service for one time. Um and I did. And I wanted to do other things, but because I at the time was one of Jehovah's Witnesses, it was just go out and service and preach. So basically waste everyone's time. Uh that was the public service that I had to do. Article 22. Everyone, as a member of society, has the right to social security and entitled to realization through national effort and international co-cooperation and in accordance with the organization and resources of each state of the economic, social, and cultural rights indispensable for his dignity and free development of his personality. Wow. Article 22 is something really special, and I truly do mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. Article 22 is something really special. Article 23. 1. Everyone has the right to work, to free choice of employment, to just and favorable conditions of work, and to protection against unemployment. Oh, what's that? You're one of Jehovah's Witnesses? Oh, you work in a town that has a lot of military manufacturing. Oh, what's that? It's really hard to find a job because you can't work for the military, or they'll remove you from being one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and your family will social distance and shun you. Damn, that sucks, man. 2. Everyone, without any discrimination, has the right to equal pay for equal work. Oh, what's that? Oh, you're one of Jehovah's Witnesses? Oh, what's that? You were human trafficked this weekend to go to a convention and then you had to clean up after it? Damn, that's rough. 3. Everyone who works has the right to just and favorable remuneration, ensuring for himself and his family the existence of worthy human dignity and supplemented if necessary by other means of social protection. Well, what's that? You're one of Jehovah's Witnesses? Oh, you were sexually abused during your childhood and physically abused and emotionally abused? You were made to believe that everything outside of Jehovah's Witnesses was bad? You were made to believe that you're a bad person for leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses? Oh, damn. You were also social distance, removed, and shunned by all your family and friends? That sucks, man. 4. Everyone has the right to form or to join trade unions for the protections of his interests. No fucking clue what trade unions are. Article 24. Everyone has the right to rest and leisure, including responsible limitation of working hours and periodic holidays with pay. Oh, what's that? You're one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, you had to work a long week, and then you had to go to your meeting, and then you had to go out and service, and then you had to clean up the hall, and then you had to go take the speaker out to eat. Oh, and if you didn't do those things, then you were gonna be told that you're a bad person, huh? That shit happens a lot. That shit happens a lot. It's basically it's basically kind of like working two full-time jobs. It really is. And you're expected to keep this up continuously for your whole life. And if you falter in some kind of way, then you're just spiritually weak. You're looked down upon. Uh, people were kind of, wanted to be around you when you first arrived, and you were studying, and then you got baptized, but now you kind of fell off. So, uh, we're all gonna shadow social distance you because you're not spiritual enough. That happens too. Article 25. Everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and his family, including food, clothing, housing, and medical care and necessary social services, and the right to security in the event of unemployment, sickness, disability, widowhood, old age, or other lack of livelihood in circumstances beyond his control. Okay, very good one. Two, motherhood and childhood are entitled to special care and assistance. All children, whether born in or out of wedlock, shall enjoy the same social protection. Oh, oh, you're one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, but the dad isn't. That must be hard, huh? You always got to put Satan's world in there. You always got to be around that. What? Other people don't talk to you because you want your baby to have a healthy relationship with the father, and they kind of blacklist you because he's not one of Jehovah's Witnesses? Oh, he's an ex-Jehovah's Witness. Everyone has the right to education. Education shall be free, at least in elementary and fundamental stages. Elementary education shall be compulsory. Technical and professional education shall be made genuinely, uh, sorry, generally available. Higher education shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. Okay, I see what this is saying. Very good. Completely agree with it. Um, I think Watchtower recently allowed their members to pursue a higher education after telling them for nearly, or I'm going to say the last 30 years, that, they shouldn't pursue higher educations in Satan's world. A GED is good enough. You need to be spending all your time doing spiritual things. Uh, you can't, you can't pursue higher education. You should pursue pioneering instead. All things that I was told as a child. Watch out for college. Satan's going to try to put you in college and take you right away from Jehovah. All that bullshit I was taught in college, when I was a kid. And a lot of other children are taught the same things and do not pursue education because they are taught that it is worthless, that the world is going to be destroyed, and education is given by Satan. It's part of Satan's world. They demonize higher education. They demonize general education because they don't Watchtower doesn't want you learning anything than what it is that they teach. And I was taught that, oh, well, if you read The Watchtower and Awake for 9 years, you'll have a basic college education. People are brainwashed into thinking that, and it wrecks their lives. And they're generally smart, intelligent people. They just have had their minds twisted by the language of Watchtower. 2. Education shall be directed to a full development uh, of a human personality and to the strengthening of respect or human rights and fundamental freedoms shall promote understanding, tolerance, and friendship among all nations, racial or religious groups, and shall further the activities of the United Nations of the maintenance of peace. You know what? I really have to go back up to this article. I'm sorry. I'll go back to 26. But I really have to go back to this article for article 25. Let me explain what it is like. This is just from the outside view, but I've also asked people this before. Let me explain what it's like to be a mother in Watchtower and you're still trying to have the baby have a relationship with the father. It is as if someone is has a hold on both the mother and the baby, but the father is pushed out because the he might be disfellowshipped or exjw, or the other way around. The mother's pushed out. So there's already Watchtower right there with their fucking crowbar, right? Making sure they can ply that family right on apart. Even though they go under the guise of have loving family and loving children and always wanting the best for children, they'll make sure to stick their fucking crowbar in there and pry those two right apart. No, wait, we can't have a normal child mother father relationship being happy in the church because he's disfellowship. They shouldn't sit together. You shouldn't sit with them. If you sit with them, you'll be less spiritual. That's what they teach their fucking members. It is so fucking corrupted. It destroys so many families. It causes so much heartbreak in children. And it doesn't matter if it's the mother, the father, or the child. If Watchtower or whatever asshole in that congregation that's running it doesn't like what someone's doing, they just go ahead and kick them out. They'll just go ahead and remove them. Well, you challenged my authority. You challenged Jehovah's authority. You can't do that. Just go ahead and remove them. I, when I used to be in the Spanish congregation, there was a brother there. He was a really nice guy. This is what I mean about the people not being too bad. It's their religion that is sucking the soul out of them and they just don't realize it. There was a guy there. He had long sideburns, and back then, Jehovah's Witnesses cannot have a beard. If you were a male, you could not have a beard. You can only have a mustache. That was it. Well, his sideburns were running a little bit low. They told him they wanted him to shave his sideburns. They didn't like the way that he looked, so they wanted to manipulate it. That's how much control Watchtower wants on you. To make sure that they can manipulate the way that you look. And you're supposed to say, "Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's not really me though. That's not really how I want to look." Don't you think that listening to Jehovah is the better answer? That's the bullshit that they shove down people's throats. Anyway, this person didn't want to do that. He was loved by a lot of people. He was kicked out for it. And when he was kicked out for it, it crushed his family. It really did. And it was all over because some fucking asswipe wanted him to shave his sideburns. So they removed him and shunned him. And they made it hard on his family, too. Tell me elders know what's best for a person's spirituality. Don't need a man there to tell me what God wants. You're just trying to be controlling and abusive. And now you're getting caught for it. Everyone has a right to participate the the cultural life of the community. Wait, did I finish? No, I didn't finish 26. Sorry. Two, education shall be directed to the full development of the human personality, um, to into the strengthening of respects of human rights and fundamental freedoms. Yeah, development of the human personality that doesn't exist in Watchtower, Bravo Track Society, Jehovah's Witness, Christian congregation. That doesn't exist. They tell you how they want your personality to be, and if you go anything outside of that, they go and they talk to you about it. So you don't ever get to know who you actually are because they're there telling you how you should be. That does not allow in an education, because Watchtower always claims, well, we have our school, we have our literature, we educate our people. You tell your people how you want them to be, and if they don't do that, you punish them. That is not development of the human personality, that is enslaving a mind. And to the strengthening of respects of human rights. What? Human rights? That's a prop that Satan made up. He's just using that to confuse you. That's what they teach. That's what Watchtower does to human rights. That's what Watchtower does to the children who do not know the full aspect of their human rights. So they can get them while they're early. They twist their mind up. They don't know who they are in their 20s. It's a disgusting thing. And fundamental freedoms. It shall promote understanding, tolerance, and friendship among all nations, racial, or religious groups, and shall further the activity of the United Nations of the maintenance of peace. Oh, what's that? Oh, you're an XJW who became a pagan because you really found that that was a good place for you in life? Well, you can't go back talking to those Jehovah's Witnesses or they're going to try and make you rejoin. Can't go back and do that. What is it that they say? Jehovah is a jealous God. So there's no tolerance for other religions in Watchtower Bible Tract Society. 3. Parents have a prior right to choose the kind of education that shall be given to their children. Yep, that's true. Oh, oh, I see. Oh, okay. So you guys are Jehovah's Witnesses. All right. Oh, what's that? Oh, Watchtower says that you should send your kid, uh, we should send your kid to the library, every time that there's a holiday event. Oh, okay. Parents doing what comes down the chute. Whatever Watchtower sends them, that's what they tell their kids to do. As far as the right to education, I don't know how much of that Watchtower, or sorry, Jehovah's Witnesses get. I really don't. I didn't get much of one. I mean, yeah, I graduated. I went to college. All of it was a shitty experience. Uh, from the time of being a kid up to graduation was just a fucking shitty experience. College, shitty experience. You have to cut. It's kind of like someone giving you a cardboard where they have already uh put the line out that they want you to cut, and but instead of you having to say, because this is actually your kid, Watchtower has to say. Article 27. 1. Everyone has the right to freely participate in the cultural life of the community and to enjoy the arts of the share and to share in scientific advancement and its benefits. Oh, oh, sir, you've been in a horrible accident. You need blood. Oh, you're one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, they Watchtower tells you not to take blood. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll see you in the next one then. And then he dies. They tell you what to do for your medical. They repeat it. They constantly shove it in your face. They make sure they give you the little card so all the other people that may have left Watchtower around you can see the no blood cards, and then maybe they will that will affect their decision when it comes time if they need blood. I'm telling you. That is one of the things that makes me really believe that Watchtower is a blood cult, as a sacrificial blood cult. Because I have heard many times on the platform, we all appreciate Brother So and so's sacrifice because he didn't want blood. Let's hope we can all stand firm when our time comes and make a good decision like he did. That's the bullshit that they say, that they try and convince people to give up their right to take blood and live. And they kill a lot of people doing it. 2. Everyone has a right to the protection of the moral and marital interests resulting from any scientific, literary, or artistic production of which he is the author. Okay, that's great. Well, you're an author, you're one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you better watch it. Don't put anything out there that will bring shame upon Jehovah's name. That's the shit. That's the shit that people are taught. That's the shit that I was taught. Anything. The reason why I'm saying this is not really to mock Watchtower. It is more so that these are the things that I used to believe. These are the things that I was used to be forced to believe if I wanted to talk to my family. Just to talk to my family. Jehovah's Witnesses' rights are trampled upon and stolen from them. And they make it look as bad as possible when someone finds theirs. They make it look as if that person has died. They make it look as if that person has no love for the people around them because they have found something that is very precious and dear and something that wars have been fought over. That's what they want to take from these people. That's what they are taking from these people. Article 28. Everyone is entitled to a social and international order in which the rights and freedoms set forth in the Declaration can be fully realized. Hey, Watchtower, you met Article 28? I don't think you have. Article 29. Sorry. Watchtower Bible Tract Society of Jehovah's Witnesses, the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses. Have you met Article 28? Article 29. 1. Everyone has duties to the community in which alone the free and full development of his personality is possible. The free and full development of his personality is possible. The free and full development of his personality is possible. 2. In the exercise of his rights and freedoms, everyone shall be subject only to such limitations as are determined by law solely for the purpose of securing due recognition and respect for the rights and freedoms of others and of meeting the just requirements of morality, public order, and the general welfare of a democratic society. In the exercise of his rights and freedom, everyone shall be subject only to such limitations as are determined by law solely for the purpose of securing recognition and respect for the rights and freedoms of others. Does this look like that this does that? Does this say that this does that? Does this say that this does that? Oh, we changed the language, but we're not going to do anything different. All we did was change the language, but everything is still the same. According to Watchtower figures, roughly one in every Jehovah's Witness is his fellowship removed each year. Over 80,000. It's probably more than that now because people just see this shit and they are fed up with it. Of which 2/3 will not be reinstated. No, I'm part of those 2/3. That means there are over 1 million disfellowship Jehovah's Witnesses alive today that are being shunned. Over 10% of the normal, over 10% of the number of active Jehovah's Witnesses. I bet you like 6 or 7% are people like me that just found out it was a bunch of bullshit and went on to do something else. Maybe some of them didn't have their whole family in there, but let me tell you what, this this shunned, sorry, disfellowshipped, or ex Jehovah's Witness are being shunned. Watchtower thinks that this is them. Watchtower thinks that they are the law. Watchtower Bible Tract Society, Jehovah's Witnesses, the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses thinks that they are law. Thinks that nobody else can. They are law, and they are the only ones that have the right law of how a person should live. And they do this. How sadistic is shunning? Shunning can be considered sadistic as it often involves social rejection and ostracism. By the way, these are the people that only have God's true word and love, which can lead to significant psychological harm. Social pain. Individuals who are shunned may experience intense social pain similar to physical pain, which can affect their self-esteem and mental health. Emotional abuse. Shunning can be a form of emotional abuse where individuals are isolated or rejected by their social group, leading to feelings of loneliness and despair. Long-term effects. The practice of shunning can have long-term detrimental effects on mental health, including depression and hopelessness, as individuals may feel isolated and disconnected from their social circle. This is what Jehovah's Witnesses call God's love. This is how fucked up they are. Overall, shunning not only causes immediate social distress, but can also lead to lasting psychological harm, making it a sadistic practice in social dynamics. But we wrote a book! We wrote a book and it's called How to Remain in God's Love. Yet it's considered a sadistic practice. 3. The rights and freedoms may in no case be exercised contrary to the purpose and principles of the United Nations. These rights and freedoms may in no case be exercised contrary to the purposes and principles of the United Nations. It's no fucking wonder I grew up and I don't want to hear, "Oh, you're cursing when the thing is up." I don't give a fuck. No fucking wonder I grew up with the picture of the United Nations being painted as a tool for Satan and as the wild beast that the harlot is riding. It's no wonder Watchtower did as much as they did to paint them this way, because Watchtower knew all the way back then that their practices go against human rights. Their practices go against human rights. They traffic people, they traffic children. They sexually molest children. They cause abuse to children. They're all inside of children's education, making sure that whatever kind of type of education they get, it can't go against Jehovah's standards. And then they teach sadistic teachings like shunning. And you best believe that this was normal when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was not allowed to talk to disfellowship ones, and if they did see me talking to disfellowship ones, they would beat me for it. This is what Jehovah's Witnesses think are normal. And I don't want to hear that they just changed the law, because if they just changed the law, it's not because they care about their members, because they don't. They changed the law because they were losing money. And that's all they give a fuck about is their money. I'm also not trying to make this site bad. The site is beneficial if you want to know about what Jehovah's Witnesses believe. Regular Jehovah's Witnesses, actually all Jehovah's Witnesses would probably tell you, don't go here. This isn't endorsed by Watchtower. This is one of those apostate sites or whatever. Because anything outside of jw.org to a Jehovah's Witness is apostate and is the work of Satan. It's no wonder Watchtower did everything that they could to paint the United Nations the way that they did. And then There were books, many books that I had to study as a kid for the midweek meetings, and many of Watchtowers that I had to study as a kid for the Sunday meetings, talking about how bad it is to be part of government at all, but especially part of the United Nations. And Article 30. Nothing in this declaration may be interpreted as implying for any state, group, or person any right to engage in any activity or to perform any act aimed at the destruction of any rights and freedoms set forth herein. I'm here to say I'm not doing this to bring destruction of rights to people. I'm here to tell a story that I was part of the abusive cult. I was born in America. I was born into the abusive cult known as Jehovah's Witnesses. Watchtower Bible Tract Society is what they put on their literature, or Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses is what they put on their midweek meeting stuff. I was born into that cult, and my human rights were violated in that place. And that is why I'm speaking on this today. And maybe someone else's rights that may come across this video were also violated. And they don't even know the rights that they have for being a human because of cults like Watchtower.